Hi there, it's time for the weekly sketchbook tour. I am Danelle. In my earlier videos on this channel, I mentioned that I'm not a landscape painter really. I am not a watercolorist, but guess what? Every day on my daily hikes here in Southeast Alaska, I have been really enjoying doing watercolor sketches out in the trails, the wilderness here, the beaches, and I've been really enjoying them, and some of them I actually really like. I might even start putting some of them up for sale on my website, danellekelly.art. So I'll put a link to that website down below, and I have been putting the location and the date on them every day. I might actually start signing them because I really like them. I've even ordered some new brushes and some new watercolor paints, so who knew? I've been a painter for about 40 years and I've been wanting to try some new things. Watercolor has taken me by surprise, so maybe that's something I will do more often. All right, let's get to the tour. Now, let's see. The first one this week actually is not a watercolor. It's one that I did in a soft pencil at our local lake. Well, we have a lot of lakes here, but this is one of our more beautiful easy to walk trails, Ward Lake. And I think I decided to do pencil this day just to get a little break from the watercolor, and I think it was pouring down rain, so the pen and watercolor weren't going to be quite as feasible. Okay, so this is the next day. This is at our one of our mini lakes, Connell Lake. There's a trail that goes alongside that. And I decided to do a little bit different view this time. You can see a vlog video that I did on this trail. I'll put a card up above if you'd like to watch that. And so I sat in a little bit different spot so I could get this bridge in there. It's kind of nice to get a little man-made structure in all of the chaos of our old growth forests. There's a couple of really big Sitka spruces here. This was an old cedar that is dying and is leaning over, so that was a really fun one. And the next day, this was down on one of our beaches that's pretty close to our house, and it has this really interesting point here, which I can't remember the name of. I'll have to ask my son, who's a kayak guide. He'll remember what that's called. But I was determined on this one to accept the challenge of getting the waves actually looking like waves. A lot of my paintings end up with water because we do live in a rainforest and we are an island, so we have water everywhere. So getting some definition in our very dense forest and then getting water to actually look like water is a challenge. So this one was really fun. There is a little boat harbor back behind here, and this is all old Coast Guard property. I've been gluing these into the sketchbook. I think I'm going to stop doing that just because the sketchbook is getting too fat and I'm using a lot of glue. So, and since I'd kind of like to just start signing these and possibly selling the ones that I like the best, I may as well leave them loose and maybe consider cutting them so that they will fit in a frame really easily for people. This is at another creek that we have, and our water here, I've mentioned this before, it's very clear, but it also has a brown tint, so capturing that but still making that look like water is always a challenge. I was trying to get some of these reflections in here, and I have to go pretty fast as I also have my border collies with me and they start getting impatient and I need to get back to work. I work as a reporter for our newspaper. So I have to be quick, which is good because then I can't really overwork things too much, which I have a tendency to do. So the creek makes a turn here. In the late summer, there'll be salmon that come up here to spawn. It doesn't smell so good then because as soon as they spawn, they expire. And there's also a hiking trail back up here along this creek, Ward Creek Trail. I used to do tours with our cruise ship tourists up there. And this day I did run into 3 different tours. While I was painting this, actually, there's a deck up here, a viewing deck, kind of up above, and a tour came down and the people were looking on us very curiously as I threw the ball for the dogs and finished this painting. And I just did a vlog painting this one. I'll put a card up above in case you'd like to watch that. This is a trail that's at the end of our road. Being on an island, we have one main road that's about 30 some miles long that goes along the edge of our island, and this is the very end of the north end of our road. And there's a couple different trails there, and I went on the shorter version of the trail because the tide was very, very low, and I thought it would be fun to sketch on the beach. And it was, except for I was being swarmed by insects, little no-see-ums. I didn't seem to get any bites, but man, were they annoying. That also made me not overthink my painting because I needed to get out of there. This looks back toward town. There's actually a few little houses along here. And then this way, there's just lots more islands, a lot more wilderness. Some of the challenges here made this island a little too tall, but when you start with a permanent ink pen, there's not much you can do about that, just kind of go with it. And all of this is rock with seaweed, like a kind of gold colored rockweed on top of it. And then there's some sandy portions here, so just trying to get the colors right and get a sense for what the day was like. There were some clouds, low clouds here, and then it was kind of clear up here with a few more clouds up there. So just kind of understanding the watercolor in my little inexpensive watercolor set and trying to get as many decent colors as I can out of that inexpensive set, even though this day I did find my higher quality set. It was buried in my supplies, and I did bring that out this day. So I've been using that little bit better set since then. This is a painting I did yesterday along a different trail called the Salvage Trail. It was logged, I think, about 25 years ago. But it looks out over this forest with these ridges and mountains back there. Now, I did start with a pen and put in the ridge tops, but these misty clouds are something I think I could do better next time. The mist tends to just hang in these mountains, and it looks really beautiful, and I definitely have a goal of getting that looking better and a little more realistic. I did try adding a little bit of white acrylic in here. Gouache probably would have been better when I got home to sort of soften those ink edges. Another challenge here is our very, very dense woods can end up just looking like a boring black blob, so just getting some interest in there. I think the pen does help to get a little more definition in there. And this is a rare vertical one. And this is, I have a garden that I planted about 15 years ago, and the plants are very, very overgrown. So this was my attempt at sort of capturing the garden. We have an azalea over here, a rhubarb that has seeded out. There's a big tall seed head here. The rhubarb I didn't really capture at all. There's some shrubs over here that have these kind of yellowy red leaves. This is a tanbark, which has these very pretty reddish gold leaves, and it has this really interesting trunk. I'd like to try to paint that one again, and then it's edged by these rocks. I did have to leave some things out. There's actually a table here that we use when we have garden fires. We have a fire ring over on that side, and we'll sit and have garden fires, which is really fun. Here's actually the big tall seed pod of that rhubarb that I tried to capture not super well. And there's huge Sitka spruce and hemlocks back here across. There's our little road here. This is over in the neighbor's yard. I was kind of happy with the composition. You can't really tell much about the plants. It's a little bit of a mess, but I was trying to be brave and do a chaotic composition. This is one that I did last night, just kind of using that permanent pen and not doing a pencil underdrawing. This is our little Chihuahua mixed Getty, and I was just practicing getting a drawing in with no erasing and trying to plan it out better. I think I was pretty successful. The only thing is, even with my measuring, I was using a photo on my phone that I took. His nose is a little bit longer than it should be, so I want to keep practicing that as well. I suppose I could be a chicken and use pencil to at least get the measurements right, the critical measurements, the distance between the eyes, the angle of the eyes. and the distance here and here, all of those angles are really, really critical. So his nose should have been maybe 3 millimeters up, but still, I'm pretty happy with this one. He is so cute, it's hard to go wrong. We adopted him about 1.5 years ago. He's actually taken to my son. He's my son's dog now. But he goes with on hikes with us almost every single day. He can hike for hours. He just went on an 8-hour hike that goes up and over our mountains here. And when he came home, he was still running all over the place. He's about 6 years old, and he was through 2 homes before we got him. He was just being nervous, and people weren't able to handle him. So we got him just as a wonderful Christmas surprise. And last one. This is the one from this morning. This is one of our local muskegs. I did a video that's in this muskeg. I'll put a card up above. We call it Dusty's Pond. It was actually named after one of our dogs that was in our search and rescue team, named Dusty, a little Welsh Springer Spaniel. And we've called it Dusty's Pond for 25 years now. But this is down the way from that pond, and I thought this big rock here with all these plants around it, and this big dead cedar snag. There's also a cedar snag here. That's hard to say. Just a muskeg here. That would make a pretty cool composition. I'm pretty happy with this one. I feel like I'm getting better and better with the watercolors. So that was really fun. And those are the sketches for the week. Hope you enjoyed that little tour. It's really been fun to have this daily practice. Do you get out and sketch outdoors or paint outdoors regularly? I'm really excited because next week I have coming in the mail. I have to order everything by mail because we do not have an art store here on our island. But I have a pochette box for, I don't know if I said that right, for painting with my oils outdoors. So I think that's going to be really fun and a new experience too. I really haven't done en plein air with my oils before. It's just been the watercolors lately. Usually I would just sketch with pencil or pen outdoors over the years. So stay tuned for some oil sketches. It's supposed to come in the mail next Wednesday, so maybe next week I'll have a couple of en plein air oils to show you. So anyway, hope you're having fun being creative. Take care. If you enjoy these kind of videos, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear about your art, your experiences. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. I'm making about 2 or 3 videos per week. Thanks so much. Bye.